Hello, welcome to another episode of Cooking in Kitchens. My name is Ruben. Hi, real estate professional, amateur cook. Here's my kitchen. The recipe that we're doing today is it's called crowd-pleasing spinach and ricotta ravioli. Now this one is actually, the recipe itself is just a ravioli, but I'm also going to be adding a pan-fried chicken to it. It's really simple. The only thing, I've got this mix here, it's just flour, salt, pepper, and some tarragon. So really simple. Just gonna like toss the bread in there, or toss the chicken in there a little bit. I'm gonna throw it in the pan. I do have some a little bit of prep work done. You know, I boiled the ravioli. Boiled the ravioli, and unless you want to make your own ravioli, which I mean you could, more power to you. That's not quite what we're going for here, because like, well, I don't have any sort of like pasta making equipment. But so your local store, just pick up a package of this. Now this recipe calls for like 3 pounds, but you might not be needing 3 pounds of ravioli. However, leftovers are always good. So, and then this recipe is going to be out of the next issue that's coming up. So please hit me up if you would like to be on the subscription list for Good to Be Home. It's more than just recipes as recipes, but it's got articles in it that cover all sorts of stuff about being a homeowner. So without further ado, we're going to go over what's in here. So we've got the ravioli, which it just finished boiling, so just kind of cooling a little bit, and then I'll strain that. It's going to go in here. We're going to be chopping up the sage, some lemon to sprinkle in it, salt, pepper, some garlic. Now, if you want to mince it's minced garlic that's asked for. If you want to go ahead and mince your own garlic, great. Everything is always better fresh. I do have an appreciation for expeditiousness. I find that this is just as good, but some people, if you can really taste the difference between, you know, pre-minced and minced on the spot, fantastic. And then we've got some Parmesan cheese. So that's going to be the easy part for this. So what I'm going to go ahead and do, get this out of the way, just going to grate. So we need 2.5 cups of this. The fun part. Yeah, the one thing about Parmesan is it does tend to be a little bit on the crumbly side. Well, I suppose it kind of depends on what kind of Parmesan you get. But this is falling apart pretty well. Can't exactly say that I'm necessarily super educated on the different types of Parmesan. Like this one is obviously coming in, it's like some strips, but it is also crumbling somewhat. And always, you know, when you are working in kitchens, you're usually working around sharp objects, as you know, because you have to chop things. Or in this case, grate. Don't get your knuckles grated up in here. Good pasta, it's not that kind of pasta. Okay, so we got about 1 cup here. That's about 1.5 cups. And have some extra Parmesan for other things. Actually, this whole thing's gonna go in anyway, so I'm just gonna leave that there. So cut down on the mess. I'll grab some this in. We'll just throw this in here right now. We need to use this. Alright. So also got to chop up the sage. It's nothing better than chopping up fresh fresh herbs to get that nice aroma coming out. Now, I don't have a whole lot here, but if you have like a mini prep or a food processor and you really want to grind these down, be my guest, probably get a little bit more flavor out of them. So this recipe calls for, how much sage does this call for? Quarter cup. So I'll probably have about a quarter cup right here. Quarter cup. This is a very, very potent. I don't know if I would overdo it. It smells great. Save that for later for a garnish. Alrighty, so I'm gonna strain the pasta real quick. We're gonna go over to the butter. Now, one tricky thing about this butter, it's 3 delicious sticks, melted, but not just melted, slightly brown. So we got to put it on a high heat. I've already got it pre-melted, so basically I'm just going to start crank the heat up on it and get it so it just kind of, I guess, toasts a little bit. But you got to be very careful so you don't end up burning it. So we're going to jump over to that. And we're just supposed to be doing this until it browns, so we don't want it super burnt. To be honest, we've never had to brown, just kind of brown butter before, so we'll see how this goes. Hopefully I don't burn it, because that's just not going to make I don't think it's going to make for the greatest of taste. Kind of hard to tell if it's browning because we got all this foam coming up on the top. But in the interest of not burning it, I'm just going to go ahead and kill the heat to that, and I'm going to take it off. Let that cool. Not sure if you can really tell here, but it is kind of browning just a little bit. It's starting to discolor some more, so I think that is probably pretty good. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw it in the pot here with the pasta. I went ahead and poured the butter into the pan with the pasta, the pot with the pasta, just so everything kind of stays warm. So right now I'm going to jump into cooking, frying up this chicken. Now, when you're cooking chicken, especially pan frying it, if you have if your chicken breasts are rather thick, you could end up actually burning the flour before the inside gets cooked. So if you do have some thicker chickens, then what you're going to want to do is maybe like just do a slow pre-cook on them beforehand, like just put them in a pan on low heat, so that they cook, and then go ahead, pull them out, put them in the flour mix, and then once you get everything powdered, go ahead and throw them back in the pan. But these are actually pretty thin, so I think they'll probably do okay. One thing you can also do is, if you do end up with some thick chicken breasts, just slice them in half, like the wide way. Thin them out, and that should do you good. So I'm going to take this. We've got our pan heated up, so I'm just going to go ahead and throw these on. Okay. Now you can cook these in either. Usually I use like an olive oil to pan fry these. However, I had so much butter left over. It called for 3 cups of butter. Or three, not cups, but sticks. 3 sticks of butter. And I didn't quite have 3 pounds of ravioli, because the store only had 2 pounds. So I'm short a little bit, had a lot of extra butter left over, so I just went ahead and tossed them in here for the to fry up the chicken. It only takes a couple minutes on each side. What I'll also do, if you have a sieve or something like that, it's probably a little bit better to get a more even spread. All right, and you'll see they kind of start turning a nice golden color. Although, to be honest, I think I probably have a little too much butter in here. I'm just going to move these to the upper end. So my stove is not quite level, so everything drains towards the front of the stove, but this guy right here is kind of what we're looking for, where you get a nice crisp shell to it. You actually lose a lot of the flour in the frying process. Let those sit for a sec. Obviously chicken is not like steak. You know, you don't want any uncooked center. Never heard anybody ask for like a medium rare chicken. There we go. Now that is what we're talking about right there. Alrighty. Plop all that in. Got our lemon. When squeezing out lemon, you always want to make sure, keep an eye out for falling seeds. And then always when you have meat sitting, you always want to have, like, tent it with some aluminum or pan lid, set it aside. And when tossing ravioli, you know, you got to remember it's cooked, probably going to be a little delicate. So be gentle with it. You know, I will say, you might be able to get away with like half the butter because holy cow, there is just a lot of butter at the bottom of this. I'll probably just go ahead and drain some of that. See that? That's a lot of butter. I don't know why it called for 3 sticks. You could probably done just fine with like 1, you know, 1.5, but wow. And I even poured some of this out to use it for the chicken. Kind of wonder if the people who put these things in here ever cook them themselves. But there we go. Skimping on the cheese. And some good salt and pepper in there. And then finally, 3/4 of a cup, some white wine. Just use this. Is that 3/4 or 1/4? It's 1/4. Well, I'll use 1/4. So this is looking pretty good. Go ahead and make up a dish. or a plate as it would be. Can't wait to try it. It's some very tender looking chicken there. But yeah, warning, a lot of butter in this. Alright, and thank you once again. This is Cooking in Kitchens. My name is Ruben. If you love making a mess in your kitchen and making delicious food, then yeah, please go ahead and subscribe, share, and send me a direct message if you want the a free subscription. It's a quarterly magazine, so like every 4 months, of Good to Be Home. Lots of great articles, helpful articles for home ownership and home care and delicious cooking. So again, thank you. My name's Ruben. Have a great day.